so here they come. So what a moment that must be for the faithful Nottingham Forest trainer Jimmy Gordon. Getting his share of the glory, Brian Clough saying, well, you lead him out this year. John Barnwell nearest the camera, the man who had a terrible car crash just a year ago. And he's leading a side out of Wembley with his captain Emlyn Hughes, who has won every domestic honour possible with Liverpool, but he's never won a League Cup winners' medal. Forest in their third successive final. 1978 having beaten Liverpool, last season having beaten Southampton. Wolves, who won the cup here, the League Cup in 1974. And, well, the inimitable figure of Brian Clough, having given Jimmy Gordon the chance to lead out his team, Peter Taylor behind him, with Richie Barker, the assistant manager of Wolves. They are, in fact, very great friends, and it was Peter Clough and Brian Taylor who bought Richie Barker when they were in charge at Derby County. And John McCall, the big Wolves defender who broke his leg in the cup tie against Watford. Hibbert, Mel Eves, another striker. Andy Gray. And John Barnwell, the manager. And now the national anthem. after the anthems, let's take a check on the two teams, starting with Nottingham Forest. Without Stan Bowles, of course, who is cup-tied. He played in an earlier round for Queen's Park Rangers. Ian Bowyer takes his place. And just as important, without Larry Lloyd, serving that one-match suspension. And so David Needham comes into the defence to play his 10th game of the season. John McGovern is their captain. As for Wolves, well, they had a scare in the week when Kenny Hibbett had a thigh strain, but Kenny decided he was fit to play, and so Colin Brazier is named as a substitute. Jeff Palmer also felt a twinge of a thigh strain yesterday, but he trained hard, and he's also named in this Wolves side, with Emlyn Hughes, their captain. Well, a meeting of £2 million players here today. That's the first ever at Wembley. Trevor Francis of Nottingham Forest has suddenly found some good goal-scoring form to go with his other skills, 5 in the last 4 games. And Andy Gray, goal-scoring is something that is eluding him at the moment, only 2 in the last 16 games. But he's played an enormous part in getting Wolves to this final. Indeed, only plays today because West Ham beat Aston Villa in the Cup last week and got through his one-match suspension when Wolves played Villa last Monday. The referee is David Richardson from Great Harwood in Lancashire, who in fact gave West Ham that penalty in the last minute last week against Aston Villa that in a roundabout way enables Andy Gray to play today. Now the Forest fans are saluting David Needham. A very colourful collection of flowers there in front of the Royal Box on a really grey day. And Wolves were hoping it'll be an Andy Gray day, I suppose. Emlyn Hughes. They're sitting there very composed at the moment, Peter Taylor and Brian Clough. And a little further to the left are their arch foes today. There's Richie Barker and John Barnwell. They face 90 minutes of agony now. So all the waiting of these crowds who've come down from the Midlands is almost over. The referee having a last look around to make sure that everything is right. David Richardson from Great Harwood. And it'll be Nottingham Forest there, poised to kick off this 1980 Football League Cup final. I can only assume that they've got through the preliminaries a little quicker than most people thought. And we've a moment or two to go to get to 3 o'clock. Well, we're on our way now. It's Nottingham Forest seeking to become the first club to win the Football League Cup for 3 successive seasons, in the red shirts and white shorts, attacking the goal to our right. Wolves, the winners in 1974, in their famous old gold shirts and black shorts. Hibbett, a little header aimed towards Berry, and played back there, and Bradshaw got to come out quickly and was shielded by Emlyn Hughes. And so Paul Bradshaw with the kick. Needham beaten in the air by Andy Gray. Anderson in there, it will only go as far as Hibbett. Both sides had good form earlier in the week. Wolves winning at Villa, and Nottingham Forest beating Spurs 4-0. And Bowyer chasing after that one, but Daniel in there, finding Berry. Peter Daniel again. Hughes. Well, I was about to say that his contribution could be enormous in these opening minutes, calming down this Wolves side with all the experience he's got, but it was Emlyn, in fact, who made a quite elementary mistake, but he recovered quickly enough. Here's Carr for Wolverhampton. Derek Clarkin played high there, but Kenny Burns cutting that out for Forest. Bowyer for Gray. And back for Shilton. Berry back to Bradshaw. Needham and Gray. And quite a jostle there, and Andy Gray winning that ball in the air, flicking it on. I think we're going to see a lot of that this afternoon, and it's Mel Eves playing it here for Hibbett, and Hibbett in turn now playing it for Parker. Towards Palmer, but it wasn't a particularly good ball, but Hibbett able to pick it up again. Bowyer battling for it and winning it, and slipping it forward here for Martin O'Neill. And now Richards. Free kick to Wolves, or rather to Nottingham Forest. Kenny Burns, slow motion stuff there, looking to pick up somebody, and it's Frank Gray. A little surging run of his own. Taking on Wolves there and finding Gary Birtles. A Forest throw. Robertson now to Gray. Robertson again. This will come for Bowyer. Well, a chest trap that slid away from him, and here's Hibbett. A long ball out here. Oh, and it'll come nonetheless to Richards. It was a dive by Needham that tried to get that ball away. Richards battling, and between them, Needham and Anderson getting away what could have been a really ticklish situation, that for Nottingham Forest. Viv Anderson certainly played his part, but here's Emlyn Hughes on the ball again now for Wolves. Oh, here's header, not getting a lot of distance on it. Hibbett trying to play it towards Willie Carr. Bowyer planting it wide there, and Birtles finding Robertson. Flicked inside for Martin O'Neill. Playing very much in the central regions at the moment, O'Neill. And it's Trevor Francis who's away on this right-hand side. Looking to give him a bit of space to get that acceleration going, maybe. It's Kenny Burns at the moment. McGovern, it was a little too high for him. Anderson coming in. Oh, there was a challenge there that looks a pretty hard one indeed, and it gets a yellow card for Viv Anderson. And Emlyn Hughes urging the trainer to come on, and John Richards really felt that challenge. It was a 50-50 ball as Anderson and Richards came for it. And just look how the right boot of Viv Anderson clattered into John Richards, think it's a cut somewhere on the left knee. That's with 5 minutes gone, and that might have repercussions. Although he seems to be moving that knee fairly freely now. Such an important member of the Wolves strike force, John Richards, who scored the winner here when Wolves beat Manchester City in 1974. It's not really characteristic of Viv Anderson, but it's a free kick quite properly given, and the yellow card quite properly given. Played towards Andy Gray. We're going to see a lot of that, with Hughes planting high balls. It's something that Wolves have been practicing a lot, aiming for Gray to get the flick on, for people like Hibbett to go in behind Frank Gray. That's what they were aiming for then. In fact, they got a free kick, and there was a little bit of clumsiness there, and Andy Gray trying to get a shot in, but Viv Anderson with the header, and blocking that shot there by Andy Gray, giving away the corner. So a corner for Wolves. George Berry coming up. So he's right up there, well inside that penalty area as Parkin crosses, but behind for the goal kick. Gary Birtles. People wondering whether the speed of Birtles and Francis might unsettle Emlyn Hughes. Hibbett, Palmer, Berry, Hughes. There's that long ball forward again, but this time it's Richards trying to get up above Burns, but it's Kenny Burns who won that one for Forest, and here's Birtles on one of his runs again. Hughes sticking very close with him and just seeing enough of the ball to get in there and get in the challenge. Francis with the throw for Anderson. Wolves fans booing Anderson for that challenge on John Richards. Needham spreading it wide to John Robertson on the far side. Daniel is the number 4, shadowing him there. It's that little check inside, gives him the yard, finds Bowyer. That'll come out for McGovern. Francis again. And now it's a Forest ball. Conceded by Derek Parkin. Birtles and Needham are up there, you'll notice, inside the Wolves 6-yard area as Trevor Francis takes this corner for Nottingham Forest. There is header. Not a lot of distance on it though. Martin O'Neill trying to make something of it, but fails. And Frank Gray in the end not only makes a clearance, but makes it a very good pass to find Trevor Francis. Needham had stayed up there. Daniel playing it back. Burns. Berry away. High towards Richards. Needham winning that quite comfortably in the air. Hibbett trying to get something. And Hughes had gone for it as well, and they confused each other. Birtles again making one of his strong, aggressive runs. And what a ball played in there for Robertson. Not offside, it must have been precious close. Frank Gray up in support. Robertson again, laying it to him as often as they can. Daniel again, watching him closely. Can Robertson get to that byline? He pulls it back this time for O'Neill. Francis trying to get in there, Half gets a shot in, Emlyn Hughes right in there, and almost, well, could so easily have been an own goal there by the Wolves captain. Hughes really under enormous pressure there, as Francis gets his shot in. And there's Hughes, what a dilemma with 3 Forest players around him. But a corner it was. And here comes that corner. Floated in there. Bradshaw punching it away. And Hibbett finally getting away, but it'll be McGovern picking it up, calling Frank Gray towards him. Here's Gray. And a promising start this now by Nottingham Forest. 10 minutes gone. Robertson again trying to get down that byline. Forest get a throw. So David Needham again up on the edge of that Wolves penalty area. Gray. O'Neill. Challenged strongly but fairly on the edge of that box by Berry. Just one man up for Wolves. Kenny Burns getting it back to Shilton. Gray. Hughes glancing it back. It's a Wolves throw. No reaction at all. Richards, Hibbett. Played towards Andy Gray. Needham got up well though. And what was good for Forest is it comes straight to the feet of Trevor Francis, with Anderson making a tremendous break through the middle for him. Good play here by Forest. O'Neill tries to get it on again for Francis. Now they've got it out for Robertson, but that was a great break by Francis, but an even better one by Viv Anderson. Palmer with the throw. Gray playing for Willie Carr. Now Hughes. Parkin. Too high for Gray. Jeff Palmer. Frank Gray's after this one. Could have been an awkward bounce, and that was what he was worried about. And here's Gray again. Set on his way swiftly there by Shilton's little throw. Played in by Robertson. The linesman flagging on this side for an offside against Martin O'Neill. Gray being challenged by Needham, unfairly so, free kick. There he goes again, George Berry. Parkin with the free kick. Bowyer with the header away. Nicely into the path of Martin O'Neill. Now Francis. A little bit of acceleration. Parkin supported by Emlyn Hughes, but he still finds Burgess with it. Now McGovern, will he try a shot? Certainly early on, Forest are using the width of this Wembley pitch very well. They've tried to feed Robertson as often as they can, and they've had Francis making some good runs down this right-hand side, but at the moment it's Hibbett here for Wolves, but a misunderstanding between him and Eves. Early Eves, who scored such an important goal in the semi-final against Swindon that got Wolves here. Francis. Eves. Parkin to Berry. Palmer in for Hibbett with a quarter of an hour gone, no score. Hibbit's long ball forward, aiming at Andy Gray. Nodded back there by Kenny Burns, which, well, you might say it was a bit of a gamble with Gray menacing him so much. He's a cool customer. And back to the other end. Berry, Palmer. Robertson. Challenge by Palmer was a bit fierce, but the ball was already out of play. Richards with the backward header. Burns getting it away. Here's Hibbett though for Carr. Spread wide again, this time for Eaves. Parkin. And John Richards is on the far side there. Shilton, not under so much pressure, but Shilton really didn't do as well as you would expect him to do there. And the ball was loose for a fraction of a second there, but here's a little nod on for Birtle by Birtles for O'Neill. Very high towards Andy Gray. Frank Gray. Fantastic header of a ball, Andy Gray. It's surprising to find he hasn't scored a headed goal this season, but he's up there challenging all the time and giving David Needham quite a few problems. Those little flick-ons that they're going to be looking for to get in behind that Wolves, the Forest defence. Put out by Frank Gray. O'Neill. Robertson. Ball just in play. Crowd was shouting, but the linesman was almost bent double, making sure that he got it right. Now Birtles. Ahead of him is O'Neill. Away on the left, if he wants him, is Robertson. And in fact, it comes for John Robertson now. Taking on Peter Daniel, trying to get to that byline, but Daniel was always that side of him. And so Paul Bradshaw, joining Wolves from Blackburn Rovers, takes another goal kick. Again, Andy Gray flicking that ball on, but Kenny Burns was in there quickly behind that situation. There's a thump in the back for Trevor Francis as Parkin went for that one. The Forest throw. No, it's a free kick. That must have been the challenge by Parkin on Francis. Viv Anderson with it. Clouted there towards Martin O'Neill. George Berry getting up well for Wolves. Gray back here for Willie Carr. Gray back again for Willie Carr. Now good ball by Carr there. And now a chance for Daniel to take it up. Great burst from the midfield by Peter Daniel. And suddenly it's opened up. But the shot is across the face of that Forest goal and behind. But a beautiful surging run there by the former Hull City man, Peter Daniel. Really aggressive running, really taking them on, and suddenly at this point it opened up with Eaves outside him, but Daniel tried the shot himself, and it really hadn't the power or direction. Another free kick for Wolves. The ball moving when Emlyn Hughes took it, and he'll have to take it again. Gray there is the target man. In fact, it's going to be Richards. Needham's right in there. And in the end, well, there were two Forest defenders, both Needham and Burns going for that. And they miscued there, as indeed did Frankie Gray. And Andy Gray sees the funny side of it as Wolves get the corner. But Frankie Gray maybe not quite so happy. Oh, and it was little Willie Carr who got that header in after George Berry's back flick at the near post. There's Berry's flick, and there's Willie Carr's little header. Now we have Martin O'Neill to Viv Anderson. Here's Trevor Francis. Leading quickly there towards Birtles, but quicker still was Berry. Richards trying to play it wide there for Andy Gray. Wolves felt there was a foul there, but the referee didn't want to know. Bowyer, Birtles, Robertson, Gray, sweeping it here for Viv Anderson. O'Neill now playing more on this right-hand side. A little flick in there for Francis. Across the goal there, and it needed just a touch in by Birtles, and it was of all people Emlyn Hughes who was caught out by that burst of activity, and how brilliant it was by Trevor Francis. The little flick there by O'Neill, and suddenly Francis has outwitted Emlyn Hughes, and Birtles couldn't find the touch. Oh yeah, shrugged off it unfairly by Berry. Free kick to Nottingham Forest. So Ian Bowyer, good old stalwart for Forest through the years. But Robertson with this free kick. Kenny Burns with a downward header towards Bowyer. Goal kick. Bowyer, Robertson, Carr, Gray, trying to get Eaves on his way. Anderson had spotted that though. Francis. Nice close skills there, but in the end taking on a little too much. Robertson, Birtles. That fell nicely for him, until Berry again was able to see enough of the ball to get it away. George Berry, a Welsh international, though he was born in West Germany. O'Neill. That's a good little cross, and Bradshaw had to grab that one, and it was Anderson who was right in the 6-yard area for Forest. McGovern finding Francis, but there was an assault on McGovern that was outside the laws. It's a free kick for Forest. David Needham with it. Now Francis. Offside against O'Neill. Williams went into that header with his feet rather high, in fact. Came back very luckily for Anderson, and now through for Shilton. Playing it back very doggedly there for Emlyn Hughes. And now Daniel. Good challenge and a quick one there by Frank Gray. A miscue by Jeff Palmer. And Bertels thumped to the ground by George Berry. And a free kick to Forest. Robertson finding Kenny Burns. Gray. Frankie Gray. Oh, Bertels getting in behind them a little bit. Across there, but O'Neill couldn't find the angle. And in fact, it's off the Wolves defender for the corner. Already taken by Robertson. Now Gray. Good cross there. Kenny Burns trying to get up so high to beat them all. And Richards running across McGovern. There was no intentional foul there, but it certainly halted John Richards, and Wolves get a free kick. Parkin, Needham, Anderson. It's Wolves' throw. Berry, Gray's header. Andy Gray rather, and Francis, well, he was half stopped there by Hibbert and he wasn't very happy with it. Willie Carr playing it in there. Needham's header and a throw. Parkin's throw, giving a bit of space there for Richards. And Bowyer finding Robertson. A lot of space down on that left flank for Nottingham Forest. Gray supporting him. Bowyer's gone wide now. Here's McGovern. And now Francis. Trying to get a 1-2 going, but Francis's initial pass was inaccurate. Free kick quickly taken, but it was taken at least 3 or 4 yards from where Mr. Richardson wanted it. Now, if you're honest, any advantage that should have been going Wolves' way is completely lost. But the letter of the law dominating. Hibbert with a shot that's high over the crossbar. It's an authentic Wembley atmosphere, even though the weather is not what they call traditional Wembley sunshine weather. Eaves stopped very acrobatically there by Bertels, and that pass too much telegraphed by Bowyer, cut out by Palmer, and it's Daniel with a long ball towards Richards, but it's Needham just knocking it off the top of his head. And Francis couldn't quite keep it in play. A throw to Wolves. Hibbett. Andy Gray on the far side, just beaten in the air by the jump of Kenny Burns. Robertson now for McGovern. Frank Gray. Birtles. Robertson. And again it's Frank Gray right in there. O'Neill just onside. Frankie Gray all the way through. And he couldn't quite finish it off. Well, an unexpected and an explosive run there by the Forest number 3, Frankie Gray. Going all the way. And that little 1-2, Wolves thought for a moment it may have been offside, but that was a beautiful ball played into him by Martin O'Neill. He just couldn't get himself together to get in the shot that would really have counted. McGovern picking up that loose one, challenged and beaten by Willie Carr. And here's Parkin now for Wolverhampton Wanderers. A good floated cross there towards Andy Gray. Mel Eaves is in there looking for something that might come his way, but the whistle had gone. And a yellow card for Kenny Burns. For something he said, presumably. Two Forest yellow cards, one for Viv Anderson, one for Kenny Burns. Francis brought down by Emlyn Hughes. And there was some signalling on the Forest bench just now, which seems to have indicated Trevor Francis playing in a much more forward role. The messages came from the Clough-Taylor bench there. The feeling seems to have been to have pushed Trevor Francis into a more forward position. McGovern stopped by Willie Carr. Richards floating the ball in there, but it won't fall for Hibbett. It's for Frank Gray instead. And that really nearly fell for Peter Daniel, and there was a lucky rebound there for Forest off John Robertson. Gray just flicking it on once more for Richards, and a free kick for Forest, and I can't for the life of me see what that could have been given for. So Peter Shilton getting that wall lined up to cover every possibility. Willie Carr and Kenny Hibbett behind the ball for Wolves. Willie Carr with a little floated cross and Viv Anderson getting it away. Daniel playing it there for Parkin. And now for Emlyn Hughes. Kenny Hibbett. And Needham's header that was required for Nottingham Forest. Bowyer. Ooh, straight to Berry. Palmer. Daniel. A lot of space here for Parkin. There he is. Again, that ball, well, that was hit too firmly that time. Parkin himself wasn't happy with it. And Shilton aiming at turning defence into attack. Hughes' header going straight to O'Neill. Now Bowyer. Here's Anderson. Birtles. Anderson. O'Neill. McGovern. And now Needham. Anderson. it. Willie Carr again. Richards shaking off O'Neill, but he couldn't shake off McGovern, and then O'Neill finds Birtles. Anderson, Hughes sticking out the leg. Willie Carr now. And now Palmer. Got a little bit of pressure this by Wolves. As Peter Daniel now takes it up, and he'll really run at them. Carr, floating one in there. Palmer had gone up and stayed up, and it, in the end, is Robertson playing it back over the foot quite dangerously there to Peter Shilton. Birtles, Berry, Carr playing it back for Parkin. Hughes, Parkin, now McGovern, O'Neill, McGovern, just snaking that ball out nicely as Francis tries to send Anderson on, but Anderson had strayed a yard offside. So back he has to come. Hughes, Burns winning it in the air. O'Neill, Anderson, Francis, challenged by Berry. Frank Gray with the throw for Forest as we come to about 6.5 minutes to half time. Willie Carr playing it into space here for John Richards, who's got Andy Gray waiting in the middle, but also there for Nottingham Forest was Kenny Burns. Palmer to Berry. And for Parkin. Made here for Eves. Anderson holding off him, but he's supported there by David Needham. Finally away to Martin O'Neill. Now Bow, McGovern. Forest working a bit of space for themselves there, and McGovern making very good use of it. Played into there by McGovern for Birtles. Francis through the middle, taking that ball nicely in his stride, but forced away by Palmer. But nonetheless, there's McGovern with the shot! And behind for the corner. Bradshaw looking pleased with that little bit of activity. And in fact, it came off Berry from McGovern's shot. So Bradshaw now faced with this corner from Trevor Francis. Fisting it just with one fist away. It'll come from McGovern again, and that might go anywhere. Birtles, and again the Wolves defence was equal to it. And this time there's a foul by Peter Daniel on John Robertson, and it could so easily have been the opening goal. That ball was bobbing around there, it might have gone anywhere. And there's Birtles' shot off the keeper as he was falling. Now Robertson with this free kick. Played there for Frank Gray, lifted high over that crossbar. Goal kick to Wolves. Well, Well, it was... At least he got his body in the way of that shot from Birtles, but I don't think Paul Bradshaw could have known much about it. And Birtles, who scored 2 here last year, must have thought for a moment that he was carrying where he left off against Southampton. Bradshaw with the kick. O'Neill with the header. Francis against Emlyn Hughes. Oh, pulled back, and that's got to be a yellow card for Emlyn Hughes. Free kick. And I tell you what, well, Emlyn's not happy with something that Trevor Francis was doing there, but he deliberately pulled Trevor Francis back. I mean, as we wait for the free kick to be taken, now that could go unpunished. Well, that's beyond me. So Emlyn Hughes may be a little lucky, irrespective of what Trevor Francis may or may not have done leading up to that situation. It's a free kick for Nottingham Forest. O'Neill blasting it through that ball, but right into the arms of Paul Bradshaw. An offside. Burns with a header. Berry, the long ball forward, Andy Gray right up there, Richards up there supporting, Daniel's made a terrific break down the right for him. There's Daniel with the cross, and off Frankie Gray for the corner to Wolves. Which Peter Daniel himself will take. Daniel went with the corner. Needham with the header away. Francis first to react. Floats it here for Anderson. Good piece of play there by Trevor Francis. O'Neill's up ahead of him. Birtles waiting. Here's Birtles. O'Neill. And now Bowyer from McGovern. Robertson waiting on the far side. Every time he gets it, Daniel comes so close to him and closes him right down, and that time it's Palmer stopping Birtles, but it's Forrest who get the throw. Inside the last 2 minutes of the first half now. Robertson. Little right foot cross there towards Martin O'Neill. Couldn't quite get down on the header the way he wanted to. See that little gesture of annoyance there. But Robertson beginning to get 1 or 2 good crosses in. Challenge there by Palmer, turned in nicely there by Daniel for Richards. Here's Hibbett. Peter Daniel again. Oh, but that ball's fallen straight to Forrest, to Gary Birtles. Kenny Burns shoved from behind by Andy Gray. Free kick. Having a game on their own for a little while, but now it's Needham. O'Neill. Carr. Hughes. McGovern. O'Neill, a nice little touch there. McGovern, or rather Anderson, knew what was coming and finds Trevor Francis. and hit it straight at Mel in the end, but he was trying to work something a bit special there was Francis, and it's Willie Carr though for Wolves instead. Richards, Gray, Bowen stopping him. Now Bowyer, made a minute of time added on, as Frank Gray takes it up. There's the half-time whistle, a goalless first half, and a League Cup final splendidly poised. Brian Clough goes off to the dressing room. He said recently that he finds it hard to motivate his team, but certainly Forest have given so much in terms of enthusiasm. Richie Barker going off there as well for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Welcome back to Wembley. Let's first of all get a view from the Wolves manager, John Barnwell, with
how
Martin
do you feel
Tyler.
the game's going from the Wolves' point of view?
Well, tactically, I'm quite pleased. We could have exerted probably a bit more pressure on them, but so far, quite pleased, yes.
What have you been saying, you and Richie Barker, in the dressing room?
Well, our shape and form of the side is quite good. We've got to get just a little bit tighter with Birtles. He's just turning us a little bit and running at us. We're allowing him just a little bit too much room. But apart from that, quite pleased.
That's the main threat you feel
yes,
from
indeed.
Forest?
Oh yes, yes indeed. And of course France is turning and running at us. But Birtles is the one that causes the problems.
Your tactical plan has kept John Robertson very quiet.
Yes, we're quite pleased with that. But Peter Downs is doing a good job for us. And certainly Kenny Hibbert's getting a fair bit of the ball. But I think we can get the ball forward a lot quicker.
Are you a little worried that you haven't really made any great chances in the first half?
Not really, not really. We had one exceptional chance, which was Willie Carr's. And I thought John Richards might have driven on into the box, but quite pleased. I settled for no score at half-time.
You did tell me during this League Cup run, John, you were worried that the players might freeze on big occasions.
Well,
Are you pleased with that?
they haven't frozen today. I think they played today.
John, thanks very much. We'll let you get on. Thank you.
So the views there of John Barnwell, the Wolves manager, as we now await the start of this second half. Well, we've heard what John Barnwell said. I'm wondering what Brian Clough and Peter Taylor said in that Nottingham Forest dressing room at half-time. Certainly it appeared that Trevor Francis was pushed very much more forward into that Wolves penalty area during the latter stages of that first half, and I would think that's probably a tactic that they will continue with in the second half. It's going to be Wolves then who are preparing to kick off the start of this second half. And so away we go with the start of the second half. Wolves in the old gold shirts and black shorts attacking the goal to our right. And the ball back. There's a free kick to Wolverhampton Wanderers, who beat Burnley and Crystal Palace, Queen's Park Rangers, Grimsby and Swindon to get here. Forest, who got past Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Bristol City, West Ham and Liverpool. Forest, in fact, with a more difficult run through to Wembley. Playing their 50th game today, Forest. And a header across the goal there, which could so easily have caught Nottingham Forest out. Mel Eves, who came late on that far side, I think when Forest were looking more at George Berry than anybody else, but there's Eves coming in, stooping low there. If one Wolves man could just have got a touch. Palmer playing it forward. Frank Gray getting it away. Here's Hibbett. Now Richards. And Shilton comfortably behind, a not very hard hit shot. Francis. I think the buzz around Wembley, certainly amongst the Forest fans, must have been that this fellow with his pace and skill could certainly be the match winner. And what if McGowan plays too many tricks like that? I think lost touch of that situation, the Forest captain. No harm coming, it's a throw. Such a very consistent player, John McGovern, through the seasons for Forest. Played in all 3 of these League Cup finals. Only O'Neill and Robertson have done likewise. Birtles played inside very quickly, but Hughes was back in time to play it back for Bradshaw. Free kick to Forest. It's Needham. Now Gray versus Gray. And it's Frankie Gray who won it, getting past Andy and finding John Robertson. Birtles. Harry's challenge was quick and fair. And here's Daniel, who's had a really good first Wembley appearance so far. Really challenging runs coming forward. Willie Carr apparently doing all that prompting in midfield for Wolves. And here's Parkin. To Berry. Swept wide here for Palmer. Gray versus Needham, and Needham thumping Gray in the back. It's a free kick for Wolves. It's Willie Carr. Floated in there again towards Andy Gray. Again, Needham was sticking right close to him. Martin O'Neill with Anderson outside him. Anderson, but Eves playing it back. Hughes. Parkin. O'Neill. And can Birtles get the speed to fit it past Bradshaw again? And he did. Here's Bowyer, but he couldn't keep close enough control, and the ball fell close enough to Palmer for Wolves to get themselves out of a very dodgy spot indeed. Was a little bit of slackness in that centre of the Wolves defence, and it looked for a moment as though Birtles' speed might carry the day. Gray winning that in the air from Kenny Burns, but Needham winning it in the air from Richards. But here's Willie Carr. Chance to float another one in. High towards Peter Daniel, who'd gone right in there. It'll come for Hibbett to blast one, but blasted wide into that little posse of photographers there, well wide of the Forest goal. Kenny Hibbett, who scored the first goal for Wolves when they won here in '74. Peter Shelton with the kick for Forest. Good atmosphere now. Kenny Burns with a header. Richards just flicking it on, but Andy Gray, well, he's pointing hopefully and looking accusingly at the linesman, but in fact Andy Gray was maybe 2 yards offside. O'Neill to Anderson. ball played here for Daniel. Palmer, Hibbett. And again, Kenny Burns getting in before Andy Gray, but Andy Gray playing wide there. Quickly spotted that, and so did Peter Daniel spot the possibilities here. The little cross coming in, but off McGovern behind for the corner. And if Daniel could have just got that cross in a little quicker, who knows? As it is, they've got a corner. George Berry's come up for it as well. Wolves fans sensing that something might be about to happen. Chip towards the near post. Berry looking for a backward header, but it was headed out by Forrest. Now it's with Hibbett, just clipping it in there, but here's Frank Gray, playing it here for Birtles to stretch his legs. Plays it wide here for Francis. There's so much pace up front for Forrest, if only they could use it. And here's Francis now. They're running straight into Palmer, and straight into trouble. And here's Daniel now for Wolves. And Andy Gray played onside by David Needham, a 1-against-1 if Gray can do something with it. Allowed to go on there by the referee. Now, can Andy Gray do something here? Played it across. Bowyer, reliable as ever, gets back. And plays it to that other reliable character, always available, John McGovern. A good piece of play, though, by Ian Bowyer. And now here's Forrest setting up the pace with Martin O'Neill. Francis is offside, and that was a lovely piece of play by O'Neill because he realised it and went on his own. In the end, to be brought down, and Wolves have conceded a free kick, or is it? No, they've got one. But that was a tremendous piece of vision there, really, by Martin O'Neill. He sensed that Francis was offside there and thought, well, I've got to go on my own and see what happens. And in the end, he's maybe in on the back of Emlyn Hughes, and that's why the free kick was given. O'Neill trying to get past Parkin, a throw to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Seemed to me that there had been an unfair challenge on the Forest man, as it happens. Now it's a free kick to Wolves by Viv Anderson. Viv Anderson has been booked for a challenge after 5 minutes to the man in the picture there with him, John Richards. And he mustn't allow too many wild challenges to get into his game now. So the Forest wall not all that happy as Hibbett comes in and bangs one way over the crossbar. I think they were telling Trevor Francis that he's got to come back and make an extra man in the wall. But it's a goal kick to Nottingham Forest. A rousing start to the second half, but still goalless. Good jump there by two Wolves players, but sadly for them it went the wrong way. And that was a good piece of play by Palmer, just when Birtles looked fairly menacing, and a good ball played by Frank Gray to John Robertson. Trying to get it to the byline again, but Palmer is well aware of that one. And it's a corner. Needham's up and Burns is up. Palmer, who conceded the corner at the near post, having trouble with his right boot. Robertson with the corner. Andy Gray got that away to Kenny Hibbett. The long ball cut out by McGovern. Now Frank Gray again. Robertson outside him. Robertson gets to this byline this time. There's the cross coming in. Needham is there. Bradshaw didn't get a touch. O'Neill turning it back again. Needham with the header just over. Well, that's the nearest anybody's been to scoring today. Bradshaw didn't get a touch there, or not really a positive one. O'Neill kept his head, found a lovely little cross in there. David Needham had gone up and stayed up with a header that was just too high. Parkin for Wolves. Anderson. Another Forest throw. Francis brought down by Parkin, a free kick. A little pressure on that Wolves bench, as well as there is on the Wolves defence. Needham with the free kick for Forest. Berry, and now a Forest throw. 0-0 it is. Francis. That time Eves stopped him. Carr trying to bring a bit of order to that central area for Wolves, but it's Frank Gray here for Nottingham Forest. Blocked by two Wolves defenders, a little back heel there for John Robertson, a good floating cross by him, O'Neill's under it, Bradshaw's only half pulling it away. Francis would spell this for Forest. Birtles nodding it down for O'Neill, back for Gary Birtles again, and Jeff Palmer just getting it back. And a free kick. An unfair jump by Viv Anderson. Derek Parkin with the free kick. And two of them go for it. And Peter Shilton couldn't stop it going beyond the byline for the corner. Both Needham and Burns going for that high ball, which is not like them at all. Mind this, usually Lloyd and Burns at the centre of the defence. Just slight readjustments that need to be made. Here's the corner, Hibbett. There he is right in there, trying to get a backward header. O'Neill miskicked, but McGovern didn't. Burns is back there with a saving header. Eves is in there. Berry's up there, but the flag is up for an offside against George Berry, who was just offside for a fraction. Long enough. And a bit of respite now for Forest. David Needham. To Viv Anderson. Quarter of an hour of the second half gone. Francis. Hughes back there. There's no way back though. That's blocked by Harry Birtles' late run. Yes, a shove in the back by Needham on Gray. And Gray asking for protection from the referee. David Needham's been sticking so close to him. Too close, in fact. That's why this free kick's been given, which Derek Parkin is taking for Wolves. High again towards Andy Gray, winning it in the air. Hibbett trying to go free, but Anderson was back there and across there. Hibbett claiming handball, the referee didn't want to know. Free kick now to Forest. It's a brave man who'd name the winners now. Still 0-0, still superbly poised. Kenny Burns on the ball for Nottingham Forest. Floated towards Needham, who'd gone up, but that'll fall for Peter Daniel. Oh yeah, struggling to get back and succeeding, but here's Palmer. That's a Wolves throw. Forest beat Wolves 3-2 in the league at the City Ground, Nottingham, back in October. We're a long way from that sort of goal scoring at the moment, still 0-0. Richards, Hibbett, Carr. Hibbett in there before O'Neill, but he had to quicken that one. That was a good piece of play by O'Neill again that forced that error. Francis to McGovern. And McGovern in a bit of trouble there. And it's Hibbett and Carr between them who got it away, and got it away to good effect to John Richards. Andy Gray and Kenny Hibbett waiting in the middle. And coming up late is Peter Daniel, but Robertson had gone back with him. Laid it on neatly there for Frank Gray. Cut out by Emlyn Hughes as well for him that he did. The linesman was flagging though. Francis would have been offside. The referee decided to allow play to go on. Hughes finding Willie Carr. Played in towards the near post towards Andy Gray. Needham was shadowing him well. What a good clearance that by Kenny Burns. But here's Robertson. Two have gone running forward, Francis and O'Neill, but it wasn't a particularly good ball. Parkin now for Berry. As Wolves take possession again. Here's John Robertson. But now the ball with Peter Daniel. Floated towards Andy Gray. A little bit of space there for him. And Needham acrobatically getting that back. That was real touch and go, but it succeeded. The long ball there played by Frank Gray. Berry holding off the challenge of Birtles. It's a good second half, requiring just a goal or two really to set it up into something very special indeed. Richards. That's a free kick to Wolves. Hughes. Parkin. Hibbett. It might yet come for the Wolves as Willie Carr now plays it for Peter Daniel. Palmer and Needham heading that away when he didn't really have to do that. That was falling quite gently for Peter Shilton. Pushing everybody forward now, Wolves. Hughes now spraying it wide here for Andy Gray. And a really active game as Andy Gray, taking a lot of stick but taking up some good positions. McGovern getting that one away. Hughes trying to close on it quickly. An advantage there played by the referee, though nothing came Wolves' way in the first place, but they've got a free kick now. Once or twice in this game that Forest wall has been pierced. Hibbett crawling away from the scene of his crash. It's about 25 yards out. Willie Carr is going to touch the ball, I would think, to Kenny Hibbett, or no, a little chip himself towards Andy Gray. Just a little too high for Andy to get what he wanted on it. But it's still with Peter Daniel floating again towards Andy Gray, and again not quite the header he wanted, but Shilton's in trouble. But there was a foul on the keeper, and for all the pressure, yes, he's applauding the referee's decision. But with the greatest respect to this very fine keeper, he's a little out of confidence when things are in the air and he's under pressure. Quite properly, the free kick was given. Now Palmer. Now Gray. A little touch by Birtles. Doesn't find Robertson. Daniel playing it towards Andy Gray, could be interesting, and this is the goal. Andy Gray has scored it. Needham and Shilton got in a terrible mix, and Andy Gray has the simplest of jobs to put Wolves into the lead. The long ball forward there by Peter Daniel. Should Peter Shilton have come for this one? There you can see the misunderstanding, and what a simple chance for Andy Gray. Nottingham Forest 0, Wolves 1. The scorer is Andy Gray. Only 2 goals in the last 16 games. For my word, he's made one count today. Now it's Richards. And you really got to question whether Peter Shilton was ever going to get that ball as it came in from that free kick from Daniel. Well, there's delight at that end as the ball is floating in again towards Andy Gray, but it's too high for him that time. Well, a real Forest of Wolves colours there, and they're all cheering the goal scored by Andy Gray. Anderson to Birtles. Are Forest going to be denied 3 successive wins? Anderson right forward, here's Martin O'Neill. And now Francis. It's a cross by him, George Berry miscuing. Peter Daniel getting it away, Willie Carr helping it on, Bowyer playing it down for McGovern, and now here's Robertson. Inside for Ian Bowyer again, what a terrible bobble, but it gives him another option, and that's to find David Needham. Wolves have pulled everybody except John Richards back now, as Francis tries to find something across the face of the goal there. Goal kick to Wolves. Well, yes, it'll be time to start looking at watches, but there's still something like 21 minutes to go. And the time will fly through those 21 minutes for these fellas. No foul, an advantage play. Peter Daniel trying to get Richards through this time, but Kenny Burns there calmly nodding it down for David Needham. Now Frank Gray. Robertson. McGovern. Anderson. Played for Francis. It's a free kick to Forest. I think we should see a lot more of Trevor Francis now popping up in the Wolves penalty area, not so much of him down that right touchline. That's surely where he can do the most dangerous work. As it is, he's taking this free kick. David Needham's up in there. Kenny Burns is there, but it was the number 10 John Richards who got that one away. Another chance for Anderson to play it in this time. O'Neill didn't keep good enough control, and that's a goal kick. For Wolves. Willie Carr. That challenge by Eves, supported by Francis on the touchline there, played in towards the near post, Berry getting there. Oh, Bartle's playing it back! Well, that was so near to being... Oh, my goodness! Well, Wolves lived with the utmost danger there, and look at the frustration there on Martin O'Neill's face. It looked for sure that suddenly it came out and Birtles played it there for Martin O'Neill. The shot somehow was charged down and it came back again. Birtles trying to get it in there, straight though into the arms of Paul Bradshaw. So Wolves certainly had their slice of good fortune there. A free kick again for Forest, with about 18 minutes left. Martin O'Neill. Well, that could go anywhere. It's now with Peter Daniel. Colin Brazier warming up for Wolves. But at the moment, Wolves are being penned back as Frank Gray finds John Robertson. Francis getting up there with a head and Parkin getting it away with a boot. Needham, Willie Carr, McGovern, Forrest searching as hard as they can for the opening that'll bring them something, and the referee saying that it was a bit of a dive by Trevor Francis after the challenge by Emlyn Hughes. Well, that was Bowyer, and it came straight to Peter Daniel. Now Francis. Oh, what a good ball by Francis, and what a lovely run by Anderson. Played in again there if O'Neill can get there. But Emlyn Hughes performed superbly there for Wolves. But here's Anderson again with the cross. That time Berry's holding him at bay. McGovern playing it again for Anderson, looking maybe to get the cross in. No, it's Francis who tries. Now Anderson with a bit of space maybe. McGovern now for Nottingham Forest. Played in this time for Martin O'Neill. Wolves denying him a chance really of a sight at that goal. Francis once more. Trying to get to the byline, cut out by Mellies, but a corner for Forest. 16 minutes to go. David Needham coming up again. His mix-up with Peter Shilton being the cause of Forest being a goal down. Now Needham's going to try and put that right. Birtles with a little back heel. Birtles again, but straight into the arms of Bradshaw. Well, certainly Paul Bradshaw has not had any really spectacular saves to make, but his positioning has been absolutely first class. Gray. And now Daniel. Hibbett trying to play it through. Robertson. That'll come for Bowyer though. Francis away on the right. Well, Peter Taylor trying to yes, you may have lip-read that. If I'm right, it was Trevor down the line. Peter Taylor's words to the Nottingham Forest number 10. Trevor. You can't make him here. And it's not easy from there, to be honest. Fair bit of squirming on seats there on that Wolves side also. Richie Barker and John Barnwell. Fantastic afternoon it will be for them and the club if they could pull Wolves through this and into a place in Europe next year. Well, there's a bit of subdued shouting and not much more from the Forest end. The real noise is coming from the Wolves end of the field. A free kick now to the Wolves. Hughes now for Eves. There's the cross. There's Short. Inside the last quarter of an hour. Robertson, the little touchdown for Bowyer. Francis away on the right there. Peter Taylor told him to go down the line. It's Anderson playing it in again. Here's McGovern, or rather O'Neill. Francis again with that little cross coming in towards Robertson, but it was Kenny Hibbert who just lifted himself enough to get it away from the Forest man. And here's Peter Daniel. It was his long free kick that led to that goal for Wolves. But his contribution really has been enormous, Peter Daniel. A real all-action man. And here's Kenny Burns. Anderson. That'll fall for Francis. O'Neill wanting it down the line, gets it there. Hughes obstructing him, and a free kick to Forest. League Cup winners' medal, the only domestic honour really that's eluded this man, Emlyn Hughes, and at the moment he's something like 13 minutes away from getting it. Forest free kick. Trevor Francis will take it. Needham and Kenny Burns are up in that box. And it went right across there. There was a bit of pushing as they went in. It's a free kick for Wolves. Well, it's been a good afternoon for Paul Bradshaw. He's not really put a foot wrong, but it's been an uncharacteristically nervous afternoon for Peter Shilton. There's no question about that. But here's Hibbert for Wolves, and outside him Peter Daniel taking it towards the byline, and that's a good cross as well, but it's still in play. Richards playing it back again for Willie Carr. Looking to get to the byline again, gets a corner instead. Hibbert with the corner. George Berry with the backward flick. Did that hit the post or what? Willie Carr, that certainly hit Viv Anderson. And a chance now for a breakaway for Forest, led by the speed of Trevor Francis. George Berry is after him, and Francis going on well, but couldn't quite get it to Martin O'Neill. So Parkin just darted in there and saved the situation for Wolves. Kenny Burns, John Robertson, Birtles, and a foul on Gary Birtles, giving Forest the free kick. Coming in, and John Richards getting it away, but they pushed everybody forward, Forest. Kenny Burns right up there so well, and dived in by Francis, but well, he got in bravely there, Trevor Francis, after Kenny Burns had got up so well. There's Burns' header, and Francis suddenly spotting that something might be on, but he couldn't quite get the right touch. He's the man they would least want to lose. With 9 minutes left and a goal down. Referee Richardson having a word with the goalkeeper. And Richie Barker coming out, just making sure Wolves keep on their toes and keep thinking and concentrating. And John Barnwell has another look at his watch, knowing that they're inside the last 10 minutes. Foul by McGovern on Willie Carr, a free kick to Wolves. lot being said there. Richards, can he turn and get a shot in? Can Peter Daniel get a shot in? The ricochet's going everywhere, and in the end Peter Shilton diving to keep the ball from going over, and then finding Robertson with this throw. Oh, slack shot there, slack pass there by Robertson, but he's won it back again. It looked like a shove in the back that got it back for him. Anderson. Francis. Wolves keep it again. Emlyn Hughes backpedaling, finding Bradshaw. O'Neill. And Bowyer almost in there. And in the end, it's Palmer who got it away. Forrest throw, Frank Gray with it. McGovern. About 7 minutes remaining. O'Neill. Frank Gray. Horrendous bobble there, but in fact it still fell out, Frankie Gray's way. Robertson. McGovern's in a bit of space. And so here is Kenny Burns. Wolves have come out quickly, hoping to catch him offside. O'Neill. In the end, it's Palmer who gets it into touch. To Robertson, floated in there, and it was Berry who got that one away. Good, strong, solid game, George Berry. And it's another throw to Forrest. Tension really reaching its height here now, with Wolves with 5 minutes left, needing to hold on just that short amount of time. But Robertson putting it across, and Bradshaw grabbing it well. George Berry having a little hug of his goalkeeper too. Well done. Well, anybody who remembers the FA Cup final when Arsenal looked home and dry with 5 minutes to go last year would know that just what can happen in the last minutes of a cup tie. Oh, he's got a badly cut right eye there, John Richards. I didn't see how that happened. But he's quite happy to go on for the moment, and why not, with Wolves leading 1-0, but Birtles now attacking them again. And that cross is behind, it's a goal kick. Had some terrible luck with injuries, John Richards, over the last 3 or 4 years, but to come here twice and to win twice is quite something, and that's what's on the cards for him now. 1974 and 1980. It's amazing really when you think of the turnover of players in most clubs, that 6 years ago the 2 goal scorers on that day, Hibbett and Richards, are both in the Wolves side, as indeed are Palmer and Parkin. They've also survived a span of 6 years and 2 wins, and Richards very nearly getting into a position to add a second one there, but he's got a corner. wide for Parkin. A nice move that, and Parkin with room to get a shot in, and a deflection that in fact falls Forest's way. And Frank Gray now setting up another challenge. Birtles away on the left, Francis away on the right. Birtles, oh, the ball passed poorly there for Robertson. The momentum was lost for a moment, and Wolves have got back in strength. But here's Bowyer, played for McGovern, and here's Robertson. The little cross coming in. Anderson was right in there, and Bowyer with a shot. Oh! And look at those two on the floor there, smiling all over their face, because somehow, and that luck didn't go Peter Shilton's way, somehow that ball was snuggled under the body of Paul Bradshaw when Ian Bowyer shot, and they sat on it. A free kick, poor refereeing, an advantage clearly could have been given there, with Forest comfortably in possession. O'Neill, and also poor play by Martin O'Neill. About 2 minutes to go. Berry clumping it forward to eat up a few more seconds. McGovern telling Needham to play it wide to Anderson. Birtles with a chance to turn on it. Kenny Burns going right in there, but Berry whacking that one away into touch as well. About 90 seconds left. And I can't recall a great deal of problem. One little stoppage for injury when Trevor Francis went down in the second half, but there can't be a lot left. Now Frank Gray. Here's John Robertson. Are we going to see one last burst from him? Played in there towards O'Neill, and it might come yet. No, Wolves still got that one away. Richards then playing it straight back to O'Neill. Now Robertson. Wolves still hanging on. Bradshaw with the catch above the bodies of Burns and Needham. And Emlyn Hughes knows that Wolves are almost there. We're in the final minute. On the Wolves bench, they're already saying that time is up, just to urge their team into one last effort to make absolutely sure. But there are still a few seconds yet, as Anderson takes it up again for Wolves. Francis away on the right touchline for Forest. And a throw to Forest. Wolves have brought everybody back now. Forest have pushed everybody except their fullback Frank Gray forward. Anderson. Francis. Needham tried to get the shot in, and a corner given. And this surely is going to be the last chance. We're into injury time. A place in Europe awaits Wolves if they can keep this corner out. And it comes to McGovern. Played wide for Robertson. The little dink cross in there, and it'll come to McGovern again. But the ball just squelched away from him. Well into injury time now. And still Forest are coming forward, hoping to get this equaliser. The referee's looking at his watch. Wolves have done it. They hug each other on the Wolves bench. Richie Barker and John Barnwell, they're hugging each other all over the floor there. Emlyn Hughes with a smile on his face. Look at the Berry and Hughes there. And Andy Gray's goal is the one that's decided it all. And at last the Football League Cup final win for Emlyn Hughes. Andy Gray the scorer. Look at the delight on those Wolves faces. What a great game it is at a moment like this. Wolves the winners. Mel Eaves there. Emlyn Hughes going across to have a word with Peter Shilton, his old England buddy, and with the referee. people from Wolverhampton in the crowd there. And what a day for John Barnwell, hugging Emlyn Hughes there. The big decision to buy Andy Gray for £1 million, well, that came off because Andy Gray scored the goal. John McCall there, the injured player. Well, and there Brian Clough, for once, is just an onlooker with Peter Taylor. And the losers go up first to collect their medals. Twice John McGovern has been up as a winner here, and now he comes up as a loser. From Sir Harold Thompson, the losers tankards. With the managership of John Barnwell and Richie Barker. So Francis going down. Who could argue with the managership of John Barnwell and Richie Barker? The decision to spend £1 million on this number 9, Andy Gray, that's paid off. The decision to see that there's a future for Emlyn Hughes when he could no longer command a regular place at Liverpool, that's also paid off because Emlyn kept things going on a steady old basis at the back there, and he's having a struggle getting up there. He's almost being strangled by wolves' scarves, and I would think, well, I'm wondering what they're thinking. They've got to lift their team again for a European Cup tie on Wednesday night. And Emlyn Hughes, a winner so often with Liverpool, now with that beautiful broad smile, is a winner with Wolverhampton. And Wolves are back in business. With Mr. Marshall, the Wolves chairman. Well, he's won everything else. Why not the Football League Cup Winners' Medal as well? George Berry and John Richards. With a bad eye, Kenny Hibbett, twice he's been up there, twice a winner. Paul Bradshaw, who had the luck that was going, but also kept very well indeed. Mel Eves with a scarf. And a kiss for his tankard from Jeff Palmer. And Peter Taylor and Brian Clough go off to the dressing room to think about their next appearance, which is in Berlin on Wednesday night in the European Cup. Andy Gray with a winner's smile. Well, Brian Clough and Peter Taylor go off towards the dressing room. Dynamo Berlin in the European Cup on Wednesday night is their next thought. Well, there aren't too many moments like this. John Barnwell having gone up to the royal box. George Berry and John Richards.
Well, what's your reaction to all that?
Well, I mean, delighted is an understatement. They say that it's a great thrill to lead a team out at Wembley, and I can only verify that. the game went more or less as we hoped it would. It was fairly quiet first half, and we made a slight adjustment. Richie had thought all week that perhaps we might move Kenny in a notch and put Peter Daniels just on the right hand side. He's got younger legs and can make the distance up and down the side, and perhaps we would get a lot of the ball, and Kenny can pass the ball, and it pretty much worked that way. Yeah. It was always going to be a 1-0 touch, and we rode our luck a little bit.
It was a tough old game on the field. I mean, it was fairly even, Stephen. What was it like actually on the bench at Wembley, John? That's the first time you've been there.
Richie turned to me. He said, "I don't think I could stand this." I said, "I'll stand another cup fan, don't worry." No matter how I'm feeling, I said, "I'll stand plenty of these." I'm doing that. I mean, the supporters for us, they've told me that Wolverhampton supporters are very passionate. I haven't really seen it, but I tell you what, I saw today, and they were tremendous. And at last they've got something to get their teeth into, and that's great. And management teams can't do any more than win cups. No. And after that, you can't do any more.
But they can also take a gamble on people for £1 million, as you did with Andy Gray.
Yes,
and
indeed.
You picked up Emlyn when Liverpool no longer could see a long-term future for him.
Well, we were in a position where we were building something. Emlyn was available. He's a great leader. That was the important thing. I didn't buy him for his playing ability. If Emlyn was playing the way Emlyn Hughes could play 3 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to buy him. And we bought him for his leadership. He showed it today, not in terms of his ability, but in terms of his calmness and his authority. And of course, Andy became available because I sold Steve Daly, and he's repaid a big chunk today.
He has indeed.
But he doesn't miss many chances like that.
No, I should hope not. But yes. I mean, that's now in Europe.
Yes, indeed. I've not even thought about that. That was our initial aim, was to get into Europe. It takes the pressure off us in the league. We can perhaps make a few experiments that we would not have been able to make had the result gone the other way today. So we'll be looking very closely at a few of the youngsters in the side and seeing if they're going to progress. And we've set a basis today to rebuild this football club.
And on a very personal note, a great tonic for you after your terrible crash last
night. Well, I've gone on record, and I'll still say it. If winning football matches improves your health, then you wouldn't need doctors, would you? What I will say, if I'd lost, I'd have felt terrible.
And what about your long-term future at Wolves now?
Well, I've never ever said that I'd be leaving Wolverhampton. What I did say was that if I could not go through another year like I've been through, physically and mentally, because of my crash, that's all. And if after a reasonable rest I still feel the same, then I've got to be honest with the football club, with the players, because you demand from them everything they've got, and if you're not capable of giving it yourself, then they look over their shoulder and say, well, he's asking us to do things he can't do himself. So from that point of view, I've got to be reasonably honest, and only time will tell.
But an old Forest man yourself, and now you've done them.
Yes. If we'd have lost to Forest today, it's one of two clubs. If you have to lose, nobody likes losing. If you have to lose, it's one of two clubs that I would not have felt quite as bad. One is Nottingham Forest, and the other one, of course, is Arsenal.
You used to play for them too.
Yes, indeed.
Good. But this is the biggest thrill of your life.
Yes, well, at the moment, I think tomorrow morning I'll enjoy it more.
John, well done.
Thank you very much indeed.
I've got to say, it's no problem smiling today, though, is it? The biggest smile in football.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's amazing, really, after having 13 years with Liverpool, winning every trophy that's possible to win, gaining every domestic honour, and then coming away here in the first season at a new club, winning the only trophy you haven't got.
Yes. Did it really feel the same as going out there with a red shirt on?
It felt exactly the same. In fact, it felt better because this was today. I mean, when we won the European Cup with Liverpool, that was the greatest day of my life, but this is the greatest day of my life, simply and utterly because it's today.
It's today, yes. And what about when you actually got your hands on the cup there in the Royal Box?
Well, it just felt like, here we go again. Because I've been up there so many times, it's untrue.
It must have astonished you. I mean, you must have felt when you went to Molineux, well, it's really going out to grass a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think everybody else in the press world agreed with him as well. But the thing was that I spoke to an awful lot of people in the game that I respect, and Bill Shankly, Joe Mercer, people like this, and they all advised me to keep playing as long as I felt I could keep playing. And they said, stay in the First Division, because once you go out of it, you'll never get back into it. And I think it's fully justified, because I don't think I'm enjoying my football I'm enjoying it now as much as I've ever enjoyed it. And as long as Wolverhampton Wanderers say to me, Emlyn, we want you to play, then I'll keep playing.
Yes. What is it about this side, do you think? What is it
I honestly feel that the side's going to be a very, very good side. In the last 6 or 8 weeks, we've played against virtually every side that's above us. We've beaten Liverpool, we've beaten Manchester United, we've beaten Aston Villa, we've beaten Norwich away 4-0, and we've come here and beaten Notts Forest, deservedly so as well. Don't make any mistake about that. We've deserved to win today.
Here's the goal coming up, Andy. Tell us what you thought about this one.
Yeah, I started to make a run and Peter knocked a fabulous ball in, and just a bit now I looked and I seen Schultz coming and decided to keep going, and that's what happened. And that's the fastest I moved. That's about the fastest I moved all day there, Brian. I just beat John Richards to that there.
Look, we're else over there. That was the first one.
Actually, I'm a bit surprised Emlyn Hughes hasn't caught me up by now. There he goes.
Yes, I'm the first there.
Yeah,
there I am, look. That's the one.
Fabulous feeling.
Magic.
Fabulous.
Hey.
And a goal that now puts you in Europe. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, that's great for the club. I mean, for the club, it's fabulous. It now means we don't have to do it through the league. It means that maybe the boss can take a wee bit of a holiday and we can get him out of here for a while.
Because he's talking about the pressure that's been on him and so on.
Yeah, well, I suppose he must have felt more pressure after that goal than when he's felt all season. But now he can relax a wee bit more, and hopefully he'll feel a lot better at the beginning of the season.
What did you feel about the game as a whole, Andy?
I said to you, I thought it was quite an entertaining game for 0-0 up to then, and I thought after that it was as equally as entertaining. There was narrow things at both ends. It wasn't a game that was full of no chances. There were a few chances at both ends, but I thought our defence were magnificent this afternoon. I thought the back four and Paul Bradshaw were absolutely fabulous, especially after we scored, and they deserve full credit for everything they did there.
You felt you well deserved it?
I thought we deserved it. I think all the lads felt we deserved it. We changed things very slightly and put Peter Daniel there where he's just about to knock the ball from, which he wouldn't normally have been, and tactically we did very well.
Yes.